Approximately 5% of the ocean has been explored. Why does NASA keep trying to go to space when there is so much to see right off our coasts? Because they know the truth and want to keep us from it. There is no sea floor and there is no bottom. Ever been to the bottom of the ocean before? Neither have I. Fact, there is no bottom. Prove me wrong. Wake up, bottomists. Why are they called subreddits? Do they not understand how dangerous this is? Subs are a bottomist tool used to send innocent soldiers down into the ocean until they die of old age. They're using these tricks to subliminally convince you that this practice is justified. Great question. Only the gullible are innocent though. I saw this documentary called The Hunt for Red October, which said the word Reddit is short for Reddititsy, which is a Russian word for these people who get paid 50 cents per day to interfere with science discussions and make people confused, like getting people to vote in October when everyone knows presidential elections are in January. Can someone explain this? So, with the world being made of densely packed water, how does it react to being spun at 1,000 miles per hour? Wouldn't the water go flying through the solar system? Great question. One great mind on this thread suggested a year or so ago that due to increasing pressure, the water becomes an infinite layer of super taffy, which would of course keep the water glued together. Sounds like the answer you are looking for. Of course, because there is no bottom, the mechanisms by which the water stays put might be beyond the limits of the observable universe. We must be prudent and not impair the credibility of this thread with ridiculous theories. What if the bottom they tell us about isn't just rock? And this is why people are so scared of the ice caps melting. So I have a genuine question. If the ocean supposedly has no bottom, what would the seafloor we have easy access to see in bays, beaches, ocean plateaus and all that? If it's not the floor, what is it? Just water that is on top of a continent? It's a thick layer of dried water that has formed on top of warmer water below. Think of it as the skin on custard. It just separates different temp water. Trenches, Big Bottom's Death Star hole. The bottom has been talked about / propagated / pushed by smart men for centuries, and we are taught to believe that all educated men and women believe bottomist dogma. However, I believe that the fallacy of trenches was planted by those dedicated to the truth, the Knights Templar perhaps, through which the truth can be discovered, e.a. there is no bottom. Much like Galen Erso in Rogue One, these brave truth seekers have given us a hint in the current doctrine of something beyond. Trenches are the gateway to enlightenment. The logical and literal hole in Big Bottom. Thoughts? The companies behind Big Bottom are BAE Systems, UK, Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering Company Limited, South Korea, Fincantieri Spa. Italy, General Dynamics Corporation, US, Huntington Ingalls Industries, US, Kawasaki Heavy Industries, Japan, Lockheed Martin Corporation, US, Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, India, Saab, Sweden, and Thales Group, France, being the world's biggest manufacturers of submarines. They have access to all the data proving the ridiculous bottomists' delusions wrong. They have traveled to the Earth's core and back. The evidence of the first successful core pass by German U-261 in 1942 is now in the hands of BAE Systems after the boat was sunk by a British aircraft on September 15, 1942. Part of the evidence can be found all over the internet with a bit of dedication. I cannot link to it for obvious reasons. Also, Reddit would block it anyways. Why would all these companies hold back their information, you ask? They are conspiring to hold their oligopoly in the field of cargo submarines. As we know, the shortest cargo routes lead through the Earth's liquid core. Without the knowledge of the public, about 80% of our trade with China today is handled by cargo submarines. To the untrained eye, they look like normal cargo vessels. The introduction of cargo containers in the 1950s was driven by the idea to put cargo in individual waterproof boxes, because the cargo holds of traditional cargo vessels could only be so big to withstand the high pressures found at core level. Don't believe me? Look at photos of the world's largest harbors. The area is full of ships. Then look at the cargo routes that are supposed to connect these harbors. You will hardly ever find a ship traveling these routes. How is that possible? Our highways at the same time are packed with trucks. This is proof that most of the cargo ships are actually traveling submerged. Don't forget that snake James Cameron. He's made billions off there being a bottom. Remember when he found the Titanic, but it was just CGI? We should spread the truth. Billions of people are unaware of the bottomless planet that we live in. The underterrestrials will take over and NASA will leave us here with them. The need to fight back. Does this mean that the Earth is not flat? Since I've recently joined this subreddit, this goes against my other belief that the Earth is flat. With that being said, does this prove that Earth is indeed not flat? Don't be bringing this pseudoscience that is flat Earth to this sub. This sub is for actual scientific discussions only. New theory: oil is keeping the continents floating. Oil floats on water. As we extract the oil, we sink. That would explain the rising sea levels. Holy shit. We're on to something. It's also why governments don't have recycling programs in place for styrofoam. Curbside collection will take cardboard, food waste, only plastic bottles, metal cans. But not things like bubble wrap and styrofoam. They want to put those back into the ground, landfills, to add buoyancy. Kind of like how there's all that plastic floating in the ocean.